So today we're going to learn how to make homemade marshmallow fluff. So this recipe is actually pretty simple. If you'd like the recipe, you can check it out as always on my blog, jacksoncalb.com. I've also noted it here on the show notes. So we start with 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Mine looks a little bit kind of tinged brown because it's a natural sugar. You totally don't have to use that. It's just what I have on hand. So we're going to get that in the pot. You want it all in the center, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Next, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of light corn syrup. There are other sugar types that you can use, like invert syrup, but they're not common in grocery stores, so I wouldn't suggest that for our purposes. Next, we're going to add a little bit of salt. Remember, salt makes things taste better, right? We use it in everything, not just savory foods. Add a little bit of water. You're going to want to drizzle it right around the edge. Careful not to get any of the sugar crystals onto the side of the pot. And just give it a nice little stir with your fingers. Again, make sure none of those crystals of sugar get on the side of the pot. That's super important, okay? Okay, so place it on high heat and very carefully give it a stir. You don't want the crystals on the side of the pot because if they cook onto the side, they can actually change the structure of the sugar when it gets past 212 degrees, okay? So do it very carefully. Let that go, and once it's dissolved, just let it go and boil for a few minutes until it reaches about 240 degrees. While that's cooking, we can start whipping our egg whites. If you have cream of tartar, go ahead and add a pinch now. Just start on low speed until it gets nice and frothy. After a few minutes, increase the mixture to high speed and let it go until you reach just under soft peaks. Should look something like that, where it's still kind of coming off the tip. That's perfect, just like that. Once the sugar starts boiling, you're not going to want to walk away from it because it can be very dangerous. So sugar can get past 212 degrees, and once it gets to around 240 is when we're going to take it off. I like to call this stuff culinary napalm, okay? You have to be very, very, very careful with it because it can burn you, and the only way to get it off is to either wait till it cools or to just kind of peel it off with your skin, so be very careful. So we're going to bring our sugar mixture to the egg whites. You're going to want to get it right in between where the whip meets the edge of the bowl, okay? That's the ideal place to get it. So turn the mixer back on to high speed, and we're going to maintain that high speed until the entire mixture the sugar mixture is poured into the egg whites and is fully cooled. So you're going to want to get it right about there. See how I'm doing that? And just keep it going in a very slow, steady stream. It's very crucial that you don't go too fast because if you do, it can cook the egg whites and basically scramble them. And if you get it on the balloon, it'll kind of fling too much sugar onto the side of the bowl and it won't actually get in the egg whites. So that little tiny space is perfect. Once we've incorporated all the sugar, you want to continue mixing on high speed until the bowl is about room temperature, so cool to the touch. Just keep touching it, keep it on high speed. Don't be afraid to mix it too long, okay? This egg whites can't over whip once we've added the sugar. So at this point, I like to add vanilla. I have vanilla powder. If you have vanilla puree, vanilla paste, vanilla powder, vanilla extract, feel free to add any of those. And once we're completely cool to the touch, you're gonna end up with something just like that. Beautiful, homemade marshmallow fluff.